it's Lorna. Welcome to another video. This one is going to be on my experience of trying to get adult social care from social services, and it hasn't gone too well too far, so it'll probably be more of a rant. Yeah, so I applied for adult social care around the same time as I was applying for benefits, like in September 2018 when I came out of hospital. And my reason for feeling as though I needed a referral to social services for like a support needs assessment was due to my PoTS, like my physical health condition. It wasn't so much linked to mental health because I feel as though I have the support in place that I need to help manage my mental health. But coming out of hospital, as I've explained before, I returned to like living on my own, and it was clear that like my physical health condition had deteriorated, and I was advised by others like my GP and just other people really that I should apply to see if I could get some more support, mainly like practical help. Like the support that I'm looking for is mainly to do with transport, like getting around and managing my safety when I'm out, because I am at high risk of fainting. I am fainting on a regular basis, and that limits me in terms of what I can do when I'm out, and affects like my safety and like my vulnerability when I'm out. So yeah, the main thing that I'm looking for is like help in getting out and doing more, because I've had to say no to like certain community-based activities because like physically I couldn't guarantee that I could get myself there and back and even manage the activity, and so it does limit me and it does make me feel isolated. And I feel like at the moment quite a lot of my energy is put into just managing the basics, and I kind of feel like if I had some help like in order to help me with some of those basics, I could actually put my energy into more enjoyable things and like improve my quality of life, and that's the overall point. And also it was things like, because I live alone, I do have a care line now, but when I say have a bath or shower, I have to take my care line off, and that's a particularly risky time for my PoTS. So if I was to faint or become really unwell while in the bath or shower, then nobody would know about it. So it was also like to have kind of supervision, as in someone in the house at the time when I have a bath or shower. And I haven't really been able to get help elsewhere because I do get some help, as I've said before, from my family, and that I stay with them at weekends. They help me with some tasks around the house that I'm not able to do or I need help with, but they aren't nearby. I don't really have any friends or family nearby who are able to help me, like as in that they work and all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I went to social services for support. And the way I went about it is just, I think I just googled it, like looked at my local area, because I don't know whether the process differs across different areas, but yeah, I just found like the main like social care site for my county, and yeah, and then I clicked on like making a referral for adult social care, and there's like an option to make a referral on behalf of another person, or to make a referral about yourself, which obviously mine was about myself. And what they say is that, well, they give you like a criteria of who, like how you might be eligible for adult social care, and as far as I could see, I met like at least I think 5 maybe parts of the criteria, and I think you only need to meet like 1 or 2, so I was definitely sure that I was eligible, like that was quite clear. So, and then they say that it will help in requesting an assessment of your needs, like to first of all fill out a self-assessment, so it's like a self-referral really. And as far as I remember, it was just like an online form which was a lot of questions about how you manage practical tasks, like daily living tasks. It's quite similar to like applying for benefits like PIP, and what help you have at the moment where you feel that you're lacking help. And I filled out the form in a lot of detail. It took quite a long time, I think it like over an hour to complete, because there was a lot to it. And I thought if I give as much information as I can, then yeah, surely that's got to kind of help my case. I wanted to give it another time. So yeah, I sent that off, and that was, yeah, in September 2018. Then I didn't hear anything, because it said like you would hear back an outcome, as in whether they were going to accept your case and were going to provide you with like the standard social care assessment, which is what I wanted. Like that's what I was requesting. So yeah, didn't hear anything. I only heard through, like, because I'm under my local community mental health team, and someone from there just mentioned, like, I think it was like the next month, so a good couple of weeks later, they said, oh yeah, we received a referral about you from adult social care. And I was like, oh okay. And they were like, the mental health team were a bit confused about it. They said, we don't really understand from the document what they're asking us to do, but we have got it. And that continued for a while. At the time, my like lead practitioner, who is, I don't know, they used to call them care coordinators. They're like the person who's, I don't know, managing your case within mental health services and getting you, I don't know, I'll go into it another time, like getting you the treatment that you need. So someone who's overseeing basically the support you get. She was away at the time, and it had like been referred to her while she was away. So yeah, I was a bit confused, and then like kind of nothing was happening. So I thought, well, I'll ring the like care point. That's like what they call the, I don't know, main body who sort out adult social care in this area. And I thought I'll ring them and I would just ask like what has happened, because I haven't received any information myself. So yeah, I phoned up. This was around like October time, so like a few weeks later, a couple of weeks later, I don't know. Yeah, so the advisor I spoke to, I gave her all my details, like relevant details, and she said, oh, we've closed your case and we've referred you to the community mental health team, and she said, so you'll have to take it up with them if nothing's happened. And I was like, what? Because yeah, so she like named the person it had been referred to, and she said, so she's accepted it, so you'll have to take it up with her. And I said, well, that's a bit difficult because I know for a fact she's not already here. And then I explained that I was already under the community mental health team for like support with my mental health difficulties, and the reason I had actually requested a social care assessment was due to my physical health needs. And I just went into brief detail explaining like why I had applied, and on hearing that, like as in I was saying that I live on my own, I faint on a regular basis, I have this condition, I'm struggling to do this, I'm struggling to do that. And she did listen, and she said, okay, like I get it, I said, this course of action shouldn't have happened, we shouldn't have closed your case, you shouldn't have been referred there, like it isn't the appropriate action. Which was good. She said, well, reopen your case and I will refer you for they call it like for a needs assessment and also like a financial assessment. And I didn't know this at the time, just because I've never had to like cross this bridge. But she's kind of put it as like you don't get anything for free, as in if you need help from social services, you usually do have to make a financial contribution, and that's why you have a financial assessment, in that they look at how much realistically you can contribute towards your care. So obviously, yeah, I wanted that if that's what you have to do. And she also said that she'd refer me for an occupational therapy assessment. So they look at like the equipment you have in your home and how you're functioning in daily tasks physically. And I was keen to have that. So that all sounded more hopeful. And she said, well, I've made these referrals now, and so it will probably take like a couple of weeks. She couldn't really say how long, but she said generally it's taking people about a couple of weeks to get these assessments. So I thought, oh, okay. Again, then I didn't hear very much. So it got into, it got into like the beginning of November 2018, when I was eventually contacted by someone from adult social care, and yeah, he ended up being kind of the main person, like advisor looking into my case. He called me to talk to me about these referrals that had been made. He carried out an assessment of my needs like over the phone. He just again asked me various questions, which to be honest I had covered in like my self-assessment form, just looking at the type of support I think I need. I mean, something I have struggled with this is that I find it quite hard to know what support I do need. I'm clear on some of it, but it's almost like I feel like I need that type of assessment so that people can suggest what support might be of benefit to me, because this is all very new to me, and obviously I want to keep as much independence as possible, but also like sometimes you don't know what support is out there, or what someone might think would help you. So yeah, it's an odd way. I feel like it doesn't come naturally to me to someone say, well, what kind of support do you want, because I'm not sure what's out there. Anyway, so yeah, we had that kind of discussion. It was quite thorough. It was quite a long phone call. And on the basis of that, I had my care line fitted. Right, social services. Again, it is something that you get like the first 3 months free, and then you have to pay for it. So yeah, that was an outcome of that like needs assessment. Said that they are happy to refer me for an occupational therapy assessment, but their preference is for like both the financial assessment and the OT assessment to take place in like by my community mental health team. He said, so in the interest of keeping all my care in one place. And I told him straight away, I said I do understand the interest of like keeping my care in one place, but I don't think that's going to be possible, because at the moment I was aware, I'd been told already that the community mental health team doesn't have like a OT team at the moment. They don't have any occupational therapists, so I said it's not really going to be possible. So I feel that I would just need to be referred to like the general community occupational therapy service. So what he said was that they would contact the community mental health team first before deciding where they were going to refer me. And as far as I knew, like this was all, my case was open, and I was going to get the financial assessment, I was going to get the OT assessment, it was all happening. But what happened in the end, they didn't have that conversation with the community mental health team. They just referred me there and closed my case, and I only found out through like the community mental health team saying, oh, we've got this fax about this, they've referred you, they've said that they've because there's no, they said that they had fitted a care line, they were referring me back to community mental health team for an OT assessment, which wasn't going to be possible, and didn't make any mention of a financial assessment or a care package, because that's what happens, you have a financial assessment in order to like look towards setting up a care package for yourself, which is what I need basically. No mention of that, and said no, they fitted the care line, no further actions required, so they are closing my case like with social care, which was incredibly frustrating. And so then the community mental health team, like my lead practitioner, went back to social services. She did it, like, she faxed, she emailed like twice in the space of just like a couple of weeks, saying that they were unable to accept the referral for all the reasons that I'd already told them, as in that they don't have an occupational therapy team, and they said that they would be happy to set up a care package for me, but they don't feel that they are the most suitable service, because they set up care packages for people like who need support around their mental health, and it's really clear that they've seen for themselves that I have support needs around my physical health, and yeah, they made clear that in their view they feel that I do need a adult social care needs assessment, like just the standard assessment like everybody else. They weren't receiving any response at all. At the beginning of December, I had an appointment with my GP. I explained what had gone on, because obviously she advised me to make this referral for adult social care support, like, at the time. So she was really concerned about what kept happening and understood my frustration. So she said that she would call like the care point and express her views about what has happened, and like state the need that I shouldn't keeping on being passed back to the community mental health team when I have that support in place and I need help with my physical health. And to state like what kind of support I feel I need, and like she supported that view and in what areas I'm struggling. So she did that because she's amazing. As a result of that, I got a phone call from somebody else at, I think it was the case manager of my case. It was someone different, because the guy that I had spoken to before was like an advisor, and he wasn't the one making the decisions. He was taking it to his case manager, who was the guy who contacted me in December. And yeah, he phoned me and said, we've had a call from your GP, and he said, we hear that you've got some like new support needs that have come up that you want to make us aware of. And I said, well, actually no, that's not the case at all. My support needs are unchanged. They're still there, as in like from when I originally applied to adult social care, like requested an assessment. It's still there, and I just gave him like kind of the rundown from my point of view of what happened, as in I keep on getting passed to the community mental health team, which I'm already receiving support under for my mental health, but it's not an appropriate service for me to receive help for my physical health. And basically gave him the rundown of what happened. And what I found in general is that when the people you speak to on the phone, like from adult social care, like they were perfectly nice and that kind of thing, but they're not necessarily always the ones making the decisions. Yeah, like they listen, they take on board what you're saying, they're apologetic, but yeah, it doesn't necessarily change anything. So yeah, what happened on the basis of that, he said that he would go to the community mental health team and get confirmation and like clarification on what the issue is, like as in why they can't accept my referral, and like get their side basically. He did that, and they did confirm that they couldn't accept the referral because they don't have an AT team, and they didn't feel they were the most appropriate service to look to setting up a care package for me, because they help people like with mental health needs, and mine are more physical health related. I feel like I'm repeating that so many times. So then that was that. So then he came back to me, and it was just like before Christmas, and this is where I thought, oh finally, like we're gonna get somewhere, but turned out not. He said that it's really clear that I have like support needs that are quite medical related, as in because of PoTS. So I think what he meant by that, well, he said that people would have to be specially trained in order to support me, in that it would be mainly around managing my safety, so like keeping me safe if I was to faint out in public, helping to like monitor my heart rate and my blood pressure, that kind of thing. And yeah, that is what I'm looking to do. That being said, like he said, it would have to go along similar lines to supporting someone with like quite severe epilepsy. And yeah, I see that I'm probably in a similar category. So I don't necessarily think that I do agree someone would have to be trained like about the condition, but I think that's the case with quite a lot of physical health conditions, that there might be some like additional training needed, or just to find out more about the condition. But anyway, so he said because of this, like because it is a very medical related support need, he said that what he was going to request is that my GP refer me to something, I think it's just based in this area, but they probably have the equivalent elsewhere, but it's called the Proactive Care Team. And he said for a physio assessment, and he, like his idea was that he would want the like Proactive Care Team to draw up like a suggested care plan for me, and then once I had that, he said then I could re-refer. So this would all take more effort on my part. He said like come back to us, like come back to adult social care when you've got that care plan, and then we can use that to help set up a care package. And my initial instinct was to kind of question this like action, this suggested plan, because my first thoughts were, what on earth could a physio do for me? Because I don't have a musculoskeletal problem. Yeah, I didn't really get that. Like I said that, and I said, could this not all be achieved through like an OT assessment, or like just the standard support needs assessment provided through adult social care? And he just like reassured me that this was the best course of action to take in order to get the type of support I need. And I thought, it does sound logical to some extent, and I said, if that is like, if this is the best recommended route, obviously I just want support at the end of the day, so I'm willing to follow it. So I thought, well, I'll follow it for now. And yeah, so basically this was just before Christmas, and he said, yeah, like, put this request through to your GP. You'll have to discuss it with your GP at your next appointment in order for them to make the referral. So my next appointment with my GP was like in January anyway. I was away at Christmas time, and like, so was the doctor. So yeah, and then due to like sickness, and my GP was off sick, that appointment was cancelled. So I didn't actually see my GP, like the earliest time I could see her was right at the beginning of February, like this month. Yeah, so the first thing we talked about was like this referral request that came through from the like social services about referring me to the Proactive Care Team. And yeah, the appointment kind of confirmed all my doubts and like worst fears about it. My GP said that she was confused by this request, because she didn't feel that the Proactive Care Team were the most suitable team for me, that they are usually, because I didn't know any of this, I had to look it up because I had never heard of them before, but basically what they're more concerned about is like preventing long-term hospital admissions, and like trying to provide people with more support in the community. And long-term hospital admissions, like for my physical health, that's not a concern with me at the moment. As a result, she didn't feel I'd fit the criteria. They mainly focus on like end-of-life care and like the elderly population. So yeah, her feelings was she didn't think that I would fit the criteria. They probably wouldn't be able to accept me. They're quite a stretched team already. She also did not understand why they were requesting a physio assessment, because yeah, she said that I doubt like a physio would feel that they were the right professional to assess you. Yeah, she agreed that she didn't know what they thought that a physio could do for me. So yeah, so again, I was really frustrated, and she said that she didn't understand why, like, adult social care just couldn't, why all this couldn't have been achieved just through a simple support needs assessment. Like, that's kind of the point of it, because that's how I feel. I feel like I've been made to jump through all these hoops, and I feel like I'm being led on a wild goose chase. And the reality is, like, it's been 5 months now, and I haven't got the support I need, and I need, and I don't feel any closer to like getting that care package. And it is so frustrating because there are so many things I want to do, and I do sometimes feel really limited and isolated, like, because of my physical health condition. This is almost bringing us up to where we are at now. My GP, she said, well, I think what I'll do is that I will like talk to the proactive care team anyway. She said they might accept you anyway, or she said that they're quite a helpful team and they might be able to like suggest another service or help to get me into another service that would be more suitable, who might just be able to do some kind of assessment, whether it's like an OT assessment or just any kind of assessment really, so that I can have that done, and then that can provide further evidence to adult social care that there is a really clear need for support. So yeah, she said like, we'll try this and see what happens first. But obviously, like, in the meantime, I thought, because like at the end of the day, as I said, I just want support. So yeah, I went to Citizens Advice about it, and yeah, I even went yesterday as well, and they said that basically what they would advise me to do is to make a complaint about what's happened, like to adult social care, because at the end of the day they're kind of neglecting their duty to assess me, because I do meet the criteria and I am eligible. So yeah, and also, like, as you know, if you've been watching my videos, I have been awarded PIP, personal independence payment, and I've been awarded the like enhanced higher rate for both daily living and mobility. So that shows that actually I have, like, clearly I have a really high, like a higher need for care and support. Like, that need is there, and it also gives me some of the like the funds that I could put towards like my care package, like my financial contribution. I'm finding that really frustrating in that I do now have like some of the money there, but I'm not in a position to be able to use it or do anything with it. So yeah, it is all very frustrating, and that's where I'm at now, and I guess I'm just going to have to make a complaint about it, but it all takes time, that's the thing. Yeah, making a complaint, having investigated, it all takes time, and at the end of the day all I want is like what everyone else would want if they went to adult social care. If you meet the criteria to have an assessment and get support, and it takes a lot, like, to recognise that you need that kind of help. Like, I didn't ever think I would have reason to go to social services to ask for support. It took a lot of me to recognise that, and it is really hard when you've got to the point where you're willing to accept that help, and then you feel like you're being passed from pillar to post. It almost feels like a bit of a rejection, and like as though no one wants to help you. But anyway, yeah, so that's where I'm at. I hope there's been a point to this video, or that you found it interesting hearing my experience. I really would be interested to hear of other people's experiences of trying to get like support, like any kind of support really, through social services and adult social care. and I really hope that it's been better for other people, yeah, than my experience, because it hasn't been a very good one so far, and I can just only hope, I just want this to come together. Yeah, the only reason I'm pursuing this is because I kind of got no choice. I do need the help in the end, and I'm just like hoping and praying that I will get there. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Don't know if that's the right word for it, or you found it interesting. It's made me feel a bit better to have a long rant about the whole story and saga. Yeah, and hopefully you will hear from me soon. Like, subscribe if you'd like to watch similar videos. Yeah, and for now, bye.